Marina's silver dress, a tale of triumph and tears. Dear friends, gather around, whether you're watching from your cozy couch or sneaking a peek during a coffee break. Today I'm sharing a story that's equal parts hilarious and heart-wrenching, a roller coaster of emotions that'll make you laugh, maybe cry, and definitely cheer. It's about a woman named Marina, a dreamer with a mission, to find the perfect dress for her school reunion. But oh, this isn't just any story about shopping. It's about courage, self-doubt, a treacherous blue dress, and a silver gown that changed everything. So grab a snack, settle in, and let's dive into Marina's unforgettable journey. The reunion looms. Marina stood in front of her wardrobe, her heart pounding like a drum. Her 20-year high school reunion was just a week away, and the thought of facing her old classmates filled her with equal parts excitement and dread. 20 years, 2 decades of life, laughter, tears, triumphs, and a few extra pounds had passed since she last saw them. Back in school, Marina was the quiet dreamer, the one who scribbled poetry in her notebook and blushed when called on in class. Now at 42, she was a woman of strength, a single mom, a hard worker, but she felt the weight of those years. "I need to look amazing," she whispered to her reflection in the mirror. Young, confident, like I've got it all together. She wanted her classmates to see her and think, wow, Marina's thriving, but her wardrobe told a different story. Old sweaters, practical jeans, and a few faded blouses stared back at her. Not a single dress screamed reunion star. Marina squared her shoulders, grabbed her purse, and declared, "Today I'm finding the dress that'll make them remember me." The quest begins. Marina drove to the city's biggest shopping mall, her heart buzzing with determination. The mall was a dazzling maze of bright lights, pop music, and the scent of perfume wafting from every corner. She stepped into Chic Elegance, the fanciest clothing store she could find. Mirrors lined the walls, reflecting racks of dresses in every color of the rainbow: ruby red, emerald green, sapphire blue, and shimmering gold. Saleswomen in crisp black uniforms glided around like fashion fairies, their smiles polite but practiced. "Can we help you?" one asked, her voice as smooth as silk. Marina, ever independent, waved her off. "No, thank you, I've got this." She was on a mission, and no one was going to pick her dress but her. She wandered through the aisles, her fingers brushing against silk, satin, and chiffon. Each dress seemed to whisper promises of beauty and confidence. "Today," she told herself, "I'm going to win." She gathered an armful of dresses, 10, maybe 12, and marched to the fitting room like a general heading into battle. The fitting room was a small, mirrored box, its fluorescent lights unforgiving. Marina hung the dresses on the rack and took a deep breath. "Let's do this." The fitting room fiasco. The first dress was a sleek black number, elegant on the hanger with a plunging neckline and a subtle shimmer. Marina slipped it on, imagining herself strutting into the reunion like a movie star. But when she looked in the mirror, her heart sank. The dress clung to her in all the wrong places, making her look less like a star and more like she was auditioning for a janitor's role. "Who designed this?" she muttered, yanking it off. Next came a red dress, bold and fiery. It was tight, too tight. It hugged her hips like an overzealous friend refusing to let go. She could barely breathe. "This is a torture device, not a dress," she grumbled, tossing it aside. The third dress, a vibrant green, was a disaster of a different kind. It billowed around her, making her look like she'd stolen her grandmother's sofa upholstery. Marina stared at her reflection, her confidence crumbling. "Who are these dresses made for? Aliens? Mannequins?" she hissed, her voice echoing in the tiny room. She was down to her last dress, a stunning blue gown the color of a summer sky with a deep neckline and a daring slit up the thigh. It was elegant, bold, dangerous. Marina's eyes lit up. "This is it," she whispered. "This is the one." But there was a catch. The tag read size 52. Marina usually wore a 54. She hesitated, her fingers hovering over the fabric. "Sizes are weird these days," she reasoned. "Maybe it'll stretch, maybe the universe will help me out." Closing her eyes, she sent up a silent prayer. "Please, dear universe, let this dress love me." She pulled the gown over her head, and for a moment it seemed promising. The fabric slid over her shoulders, cool and smooth, but then disaster. The dress stopped at her chest, refusing to budge. Her arms were trapped above her head, the fabric squeezing her like a python. She tugged, she twisted, she wiggled. Nothing worked. Then a sickening crack, the sound of fabric tearing. Marina froze, her heart in her throat. Oh no, oh no, no, no. Sweat beaded on her forehead, her hair stuck to her face. She was stuck half in, half out, a prisoner of the blue dress. Minutes ticked by. She tried to pull it down, then up, then side to side. Nothing. Tears pricked her eyes as panic set in. A soft knock came at the curtain. "Madam, are you okay?" a saleswoman asked. Marina tried to respond, but all that came out was a strangled oof. The curtain slid open, revealing a young saleswoman with wide eyes. "Oh my goodness, you're stuck." Before Marina could protest, the saleswoman called for backup. Soon 3 more saleswomen appeared, their faces a mix of concern and barely concealed amusement. "Pull," one shouted. They tugged at the dress from all sides, while Marina stood there mortified, her arms still trapped above her head. "Cut it," the oldest saleswoman barked. "Who's paying for it?" another snapped. "The woman who's stuck," a third chimed in. Marina gasped. "No, this isn't a dress, it's my coffin." The saleswomen burst into laughter, which only made Marina's cheeks burn hotter. She stomped her foot, tears streaming down her face. "This is not funny." Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the dress gave way with a dramatic whoosh. It slid off, leaving Marina free but disheveled, her hair a mess, her face red, her pride in tatters. Miraculously, the dress was unharmed, its blue fabric still pristine. Marina didn't care. She grabbed her clothes, threw them on, and fled the store, the fitting room feeling like a battlefield she'd barely survived. A moment of defeat. Marina collapsed into a chair at a nearby cafe, her hands trembling as she sipped a coffee. Tears welled up again, a mix of anger, shame, and exhaustion. She felt like a failure. "Why is this so hard?" she whispered to herself. "All I wanted was one perfect dress." The blue dress had betrayed her, and with it her confidence. She imagined her classmates at the reunion, whispering about how she hadn't aged well, how she hadn't made it. But Marina was stubborn. She wiped her tears, squared her shoulders, and made a decision. "I'm not giving up. I will find my dress today. I will shine at that reunion." A new hope. Marina wandered into another store, Lunar Glow Boutique, a smaller shop with softer lighting and a calmer vibe. The dresses here seemed to glow with possibility, less flashy, more soulful. Her eyes landed on a silver dress hanging in the corner. It shimmered like moonlight on water, with a corset-like waist and a flowing skirt. It was elegant, timeless, and oh no, size 52 again. Marina's heart sank. "Not again," she muttered, but something about the dress called to her. It wasn't just fabric, it was a promise. She took it to the fitting room, her hands shaking with a mix of hope and fear. She closed her eyes, remembering the blue dress disaster. "Please," she whispered to the silver dress, "don't betray me." She slipped it on, bracing for disappointment. But this time something magical happened. The dress glided over her shoulders, hugged her waist, and flowed over her hips. It fit perfectly. Marina opened her eyes and gasped. The mirror showed a woman she barely recognized, confident, radiant, alive. The corset waist cinched her in just right, and the silver fabric caught the light, making her glow. The saleswoman peeked in and clapped her hands. "You look like a queen. That dress was made for you." Marina blushed, a smile spreading across her face. For the first time that day she felt beautiful. She twirled, the skirt swirling around her legs. She laughed, a bright, honest laugh that echoed in the tiny room. "Is this really me?" she whispered. She bought the silver dress without hesitation, carrying the bag out of the store like it held a priceless treasure. The reunion. The night of the reunion arrived. Marina spent hours getting ready, curling her hair, applying soft makeup, and slipping into the silver dress. When she looked in the mirror, she didn't just see a dress. She saw herself, strong and beautiful. She smiled, her nerves replaced by a quiet confidence. At the reunion venue, old classmates filled the room, their faces a mix of familiar and unfamiliar, softened by time. When Marina walked in, heads turned. "Marina," a woman gasped. "You look incredible, like a movie star." "Maury like a queen," another added, laughing. Marina beamed, her heart soaring. The silver dress worked its magic, making her feel like she belonged. She laughed with old friends, shared stories of the past, and danced under the twinkling lights. But as the night went on, she noticed something. The dress, while beautiful, was tight. When she sat, it pinched her waist. When she danced, it tugged at her hips. When she indulged in a slice of chocolate cake, it felt like the corset was staging a rebellion. She smiled through it, but inside she was uncomfortable. Beauty demands sacrifice, she thought wryly. This dress is a queen, and I'm just its loyal subject. The mirror moment. Midway through the night, Marina slipped into the bathroom to catch her breath. She stood before the mirror, the silver dress still shimmering, her eyes bright but tired. A tear slipped down her cheek. "Why are you so beautiful and so painful?" she whispered to the dress. Then something shifted. She started to laugh, loud, honest laughter that shook her whole body. Two classmates walked in, startled. "Marina, are you okay? Why are you laughing and crying?" She wiped her eyes, still chuckling. "Because life is like this dress. Sometimes it fits perfectly. Sometimes it's too tight. Sometimes it makes you feel like a queen, and sometimes it reminds you you're human, but it's still beautiful." The women laughed with her, their voices filling the bathroom with warmth. They hugged, shared stories of their own struggles, and took selfies, their smiles brighter than the silver dress. The night ends. The reunion ended with hugs, promises to stay in touch, and a few happy tears. Marina drove home, exhausted but full of emotion. She hung the silver dress in her wardrobe, running her fingers over its shimmering fabric. "You're not perfect," she whispered, "but you gave me this night, and I'll never forget it." She turned off the light, and the dress glowed faintly in the dark, like a memory, like a secret, like a spark of magic. A lesson learned. Thank you, dear friends, for joining me on Marina's journey. It wasn't just about a dress. It was about fighting for confidence, embracing imperfection, and finding joy in the chaos. Life, like a dress, can be treacherous. It can squeeze you, trap you, make you cry. But it can also make you shine. Marina laughed, she cried, and she danced, all in one night. And that's what makes her story so special. So the next time you're facing your own blue dress moment, remember Marina. Keep searching for your silver dress, the one that makes you feel like you. And when you find it, wear it proudly, even if it's a little tight. If you loved this story, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more tales of laughter, tears, and triumph. Share your own silver dress stories in the comments. I can't wait to read them. Until next time, keep shining, my friends.